See, can I marry you?
Well, I'm still not gonna marry you, but I was informed that you're sorry for making things awkward. So I accept your apology, as well as your various compliments, which included that I'm amazing, really talented, caring, funny, and just wonderful in every single way. And this is another glowing example of why my fans are the best.
Yeah, that was another. They contacted me after the fact in the DMs or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make Natsuki feel bad." Let's see. Have you seen Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid? Who's best girl?
This show is still gross to me on a lot of levels. But looking at the characters, I decided Kana is acceptable. Now, don't get the wrong idea about that choice. None of these girls score many points with me to begin with.
I know you're not a huge Dragon Ball fan, but you gotta admit Super Saiyan Rose is fucking cool.
Okay, I looked this up and I guess it's pretty cool. I never thought I'd see an evil Goku with pink hair. And don't get me started on how contrived that is. But the color and the aura and stuff were just pretty cool, okay? Jeez!
Being tsundere about looking it. To each person, what are your kinks?
What? Oh, come on! You really want me to answer this, don't you? Well, why the hell not? You already know worse things about me. I'm into sweets, boys. Let's get sticky.
What are your thoughts on Baka the two-legged Natsuki head?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I take it as absolute proof of you guys' insanity. Not that I need it anymore after all this. Freaking finally! Come on out, Yuri. They're all warmed up for you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, knock them dead. I mean it. Literally kill them. So, I'm unsure. No, I'm sure Natsuki filled you in on a few things. We've come to a bit of an impasse in the club. She and I are hoping to resolve this later, but we'll see. For now, I'd just like to focus on my remaining questions.
Let's see. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis, though? Ugh.
I had to guess this was a Star Wars character based on the name. However, I never saw any of the films that featured him. I didn't quite make it to episode 3. The story is the Sith legend that played a part in Anakin's turn to the dark side. But now it's just another meme.
Have you listened to the song I recommended to you? Did others listen to it as well? How did you guys like it?
Yes, I gave a listen to Parabola. I was pleasantly surprised. The moodiness of the start was offset by the intensity of the middle, but I liked it all the way through. I still prefer music without lyrics, but more of this type would certainly be welcome. If I recall, the others had varied opinions of it. Yuri liked it better when it picked up. Tiff liked the tune, but was upset she couldn't make out the lyrics. Monica said it wasn't really a thing, and Natsuki said it definitely wasn't hers. Hallie enjoyed it, and Shiro said it was alright. I don't think they were especially into it. I myself was somewhat enraptured, though the music video may have had something to do with that.
So yeah, have you ever saw the small version of yourself, aka Jimmy?
I finally got to see my Jimmy. It was sufficiently adorable, a remarkable rendition. It seems the community has some very talented artists. I especially liked its jumping pose. I couldn't be that precious if I tried.
Have you read a book called Ready Player One?
Well, I read through this book, but I think the novelty is simply lost on me. Being such a non-gamer, I could barely understand the end of its multitude of references. The premise is certainly interesting, but it doesn't quite appeal to me as much as other genres. It's mostly a sci-fi tale about things I'm too unfamiliar with. But thank you for sharing it anyway.
Let's see. Yes. As a fellow intellectual, I feel I'm respectfully correct on something. In Sayori's aim, you try to correct Sayori for incorrect use of the word omnipotent. You then tell her that the word she should have used was omniscient instead. However, both of those words would have been used correctly within the context of what she was saying. After all, omniscience is a prerequisite from omnipotence, and the saying goes, knowledge is power.
Oh, yes. It seems my previous response to the summons raised some further contention. It was argued that in order to be omnipotent, one must also be omniscient. On the grounds that, without knowing everything, you are not capable of doing everything. There is merit to this statement, but I feel there is some degree of personal interpretation to be had. Going by technical definitions, an omnipotent being is able to do anything, and if they don't know how, they aren't truly able, and therefore not omnipotent. But consider this. I, as a human, am capable of many things. My body has its limits. I'm not claiming omnipotence myself. But there are many things I could do if I only knew how. For example, I can fix a computer. That's something I'm physically able to do. However, I don't know anything about computers. I wouldn't even know where to start. But the information is available, and I could learn how if I tried. So can it truly be said I'm incapable of fixing the machine? Is my lack of knowledge the deciding factor? When such things are readily available and easily discovered, am I really unassailable? You're free to think what you like, but I stand by my position. Omnipotence and omniscience are separate, and equally unattainable.
Do you know about Hanako Ikazawa, and if you do you think you're going to be good friends?
When I inquired with my friends about this girl, Yuri informed me that she's a character in Katawa Shoujo. I don't play games much, let alone dating sims. But I decided to give it a chance and explore her route. Needless to say, I found her quite relatable. Scars and all. I think perhaps she and I could be friends, though I don't know how I'd ever approach her. And I doubt she would ever approach me either. Oh.
What is your favorite video game? Personally, I could see you wrapping up under a blanket and then playing an RPG like Persona 5, Final Fantasy, or Dragon Quest.
I'd have a little more flexibility on this answer now that I've played more than just one game. I decided to try every title you listed. Ali was able to lend me all of them. I didn't find Dragon Quest 11 all that interesting. Its style is a bit too cartoonish.
It is style. My bad. I screwed up. Oh no. Another typo.
Final Fantasy 15 was better, but confusing to play. I suppose I'm just not used to these things. But Persona 5, oh my goodness. I didn't have time to play the whole thing. I only got to the end of Kamoshida's palace. But I'm hooked. I will play that game all the way through. The characters, the premise, the setting, the style, music, all of it. It's amazing. I'll never lose my love of literature, but I've clearly been missing out here. Thank you for these suggestions.
Why are you so shy?
Oh yes, I remember this. Don't worry, Akuchiha. I received your apology and it's quite alright. I guess I seemed a little uncomfortable when I first responded to this. But trust me, I didn't mind. It certainly wasn't as invasive as some of my other questions. If anything, all this has helped me to become less shy, so... Please don't feel bad. I promise you it's okay.
Hey Yuri, do you like JonTron?
I took a look at his 2 most recent videos to see what he's like.
This was most recent as of their timing in the AMA itself. So basically back in 2017.
I learned how not to prepare turducken, and I understand flex tape memes now. His antics are fairly amusing, and the videos are well edited. But I don't think I could watch him on a regular basis. Although, seeing him carve up all those birds was...
What are your opinions on the nicknames that people have come up with for you?
Apparently, Holly put together a list from the sub for me. I'm not sure if he checked it very carefully. I saw it cut slut. But there were many other nice ones too. Yuri, Amethyst Angel, Moth Maiden, Yuri Bun. You're really all too kind.
Have you ever heard of Halo? If so, I think you would like the Halo short story, The Mona Lisa.
I looked this one up and opted to watch the video version. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was surprised to see it was an hour long. I don't know anything about Halo, so there were a lot of things I didn't quite understand. But I did find the story somewhat interesting, if a bit stereotypical. I feel as though the idea of being trapped with an alien monster has been overdone in science fiction. But the nature of the flood helped to make up for that. They're a terrifying threat. Although not my preferred type of horror, I still enjoyed it. The artwork and animation were both excellent too. It's very well presented. I'm sure fans of the games can appreciate it more. I just would have liked something deeper.
Since your favorite Smash character is Marth, are you familiar with Fire Emblem?
Since I didn't know anything about Fire Emblem before, I decided to look into it. I picked up Shadows of Valentia. I suspected it was some type of RPG, but I hadn't bet on it being tactical. It almost felt more like a puzzle game. Each battle required a well-thought-out solution. The direct approach rarely worked. It was a nice test of my critical thinking, and the story was decent as well. I suppose I'm turning into more of a gamer already.
You like horror, right? Have you heard of the manga artist Junji Ito? I know your stance on manga and politely disagree, but he's an absolute mad lad, and a masterclass in writing and drawing things so scary you'll pee blood. I couldn't recommend him more.
Yes, I finally got to read a little of his work. Alan lent me his copy of Gyo, which also contains the Enigma of Amigara Vault. I can see why you recommended this author. Both tales were quite disturbing. This wasn't my first time reading manga, as I used to read it when I was younger.
Facts from the side stories.
And while I feel I've grown out of that sort of thing, I acknowledge that it isn't all kids' stuff, especially not Ito's work. I would still prefer to imagine things on my own, but the medium is tolerable. I don't know if Amigara's ending would be more horrifying in my mind or not.
I hope Amnesia was a fun experience for you. I forgot to mention some of the gore and stuff, but that game is something else. Oh, did you do the DLC? That last enemy nearly gave me PTSD.
I withheld my answer to a question from a moment ago. Because Amnesia is my new favorite game, I played it all in one sitting, DLC included. The atmosphere of Brennenburg and its dungeons was absolutely harrowing. Coupled with your lack of combat prowess, the game is excellent at making you feel helpless. The pacing is exquisite too. They push you to the very edge of your seat before tearing it out from under you. The gore didn't bother me, and I appreciated the psychological side of the horror. The DLC was less appealing to me. Don't get me wrong, it was still terrifying. It just lacked the finesse of the main game. It felt more action-oriented and wasn't as subtle. I only wonder if I haven't spoiled myself by playing such a great horror game first.
Does the sight of blood turn you on, or was it just because it was MC?
Oh, right. When I first encountered these questions, I became too distraught to answer them properly. I'll be revisiting that entire stretch to make up for it, though I hope you understood at the time. But, I do find blood rather exciting.
In other words, yes. This is a pretty random question, but do you like board games? Introverts often do, and you're just about the most introverted person I can think of. And if you do you have a favorite?
I'm still unsure why you think introversion matters. In fact, I have a board game group I meet with on weekends.
I think that was also a fact from the side stories.
One of our favorites is Settles of Catan. It offers a lot of depth and variance. Solar Quest is another good one. You may not have heard of it, but it's basically Monopoly in space. I think my personal favorite would be Clue. I'm good at keeping track of all the little details.
What do you think of bread? Also Ooga Booga.
I think I answered this accurately, even in my hurt state of mind. Though I hope you've abandoned your aspirations of destroying humanity.
Oh, hey, before I ask you some questions, can you tell Monica there were some issues with the Natsuki AMA? Lots of weird visual audio and audio glitches, and that at one point this creepy guy with a weird TY, I still don't know what I mean by that, speaking style, hijacks the broadcast. I'm sure it sounds confusing, but Monica will know what I mean.
Oh no, I forgot to bring this up to Monica. Natsuki's AMA has been buggy for weeks. I'll tell her right away. Monica, could you come here, please? Yes, is something wrong? This comment, they say there were some strange problems with Natsuki's AMA. Oh, don't worry about that. Someone in the group AMA informed me, and I saw that it was fixed. Okay, that's a relief. No problem.
Fib. Anyway, as a fellow introvert, do you have any advice for meeting people?
Oh, I wish I had a better answer for this. I really don't know of any. I've always kept to myself, and my interests are so esoteric. Meeting people is practically a foreign concept to me. If it weren't for my group in this club, I'd hardly have any social life at all. And now it's... I'm sorry, I'd tell you if I knew.
2. How did you get involved with the literature club?
I'm certain I told you Monica found me. I still don't know what to think. It's been such a positive change for me, I can hardly imagine being without it. And yet, her actions were so outrageous.
3. Besides Smash, do you play any video games?
You've heard of a few so far. You've heard a few more so far. There are a few more to come as well. I know it's hard to believe I've only just given games a chance, but I think I may look into them further after this.
4. Out of the club members, who do you hang with the most?
Before, I didn't hang out with any of them. We all just came to the club, went about our business, and were on our way. But since the AMA's ended, I've been spending more time with Natsuki. It seems she took me seriously about being better friends, and I'm thankful for it. Things aren't ideal between us, but we're slowly finding common ground. It feels nice, It's not something I'm really used to.
You know, things like Five Nights at Freddy's, Bendy, The Ink Machine, Amnesia, Slender, and so on. How do you feel about horror games?
I played these titles to see for myself as well. And this is why I think Amnesia spoiled me. I spoke about the follies of Five Nights at Freddy's in my AMA, and it went as I predicted. The gameplay builds tension through repetition, but the scares eventually become cheap. Bendy and the Ink Machine told an interesting story, but I felt it was disjointed. It made too little sense in a world with arbitrary rules. The style and concept are both good, but it could have delivered better. Slender was easily the worst of what I played. It relies on atmosphere and dread, but like FNAF, it quickly became tedious. Collecting the pages had no meaning, even if you found them all. It was just busy work. Slenderman didn't feel like a living thing either. He had no one pose and never actually moved. I hope I don't sound like some pretentious connoisseur. I just didn't get much out of this selection, that's all.
And even with Splender's, apparent mediocrity, it sparked such a craze back then, man. Like, a whole genre all its own. Follow-up question, have you read the Five Nights at Freddy's book trilogy? I'm not sure if you have, or I don't feel like I need to read the rest of that text.
Well, I enjoyed the books more than the game, so that's something at least. I'd like to say it was more intriguing, but the more you know going in, the less it will surprise you. Even with a whole cast of new characters, the basic premise of possessed animatronics remains the same. Not that I expected otherwise, just that the game's mystery lies in what it left unstated. The book just stated everything, removing the sense of mystique. That cheapened the experience somewhat, but I enjoyed it for what it was.